Hi, it's John and welcome to the channel. It is Tuesday, December the 9th. I hope you're having a great Tuesday here with a big blue mug of coffee. And I appreciate you being here. I really do. And I'm doing this video because, as expected, the Liberals did not support Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party's motion today in the House of Commons in support of a pipeline going to the West Coast from Alberta, using the words from the Memorandum of Understanding signed between Mark Carney and Danielle Smith. I'm going to get back to her in just a moment, near the end. And I hope you don't mind. I've written down some notes here because I watched Question Period today. Let me ask you this. If you watch this regularly, how can you stand it? How can you? It's like watching a bunch of juveniles scream at each other for an hour. Nothing gets accomplished. By the end of Question Period today, every point the Conservatives made, every question they asked of the Government of Canada, the Liberals yelled back at them, yeah, but you didn't support a school lunch program. That's what it ended up being. If you were a big company around the world and you saw this on a regular basis, would you invest in this country? With the clowns we've got running the country right now? And I'm talking about the Liberals. Now, before this vote happened today, the National Post ran this story. Let me get over here to it. Here we go. Liberals won't vote for Conservative pipeline motion, calling it a cheap political stunt. I'm not going to read a lot of this article for you. Canadians see the motion that is before us today for what it is. It is a cynical ploy to divide us. It is a cheap political stunt, and so we will not be supporting the motion the Conservatives have put forward today, said Energy Minister Tim Hodgson. Can you think of a more ridiculous title for a Liberal minister? Energy Minister? Anti-energy minister might be better. So yeah, it was a political stunt. It was definitely a political stunt, a good one. It proved that the Liberals were not serious about a pipeline today. They're not serious about prosperity. The cheap political stunt that Hodgson talks about there, it worked. Now, the vote on this by the Liberals was a stunt as well to allow Carney to maintain a facade of support for oil and gas while doing nothing to unequivocally support a pipeline. It was also a vote today to keep the climate cultists from rebelling against the Liberal Party and revolting. They are still there holding us back and holding my province of Alberta back. It was also an indication that Liberals cannot be trusted to do what's right for my province of Alberta. The Memorandum of Understanding does not guarantee a pipeline. We want a guarantee. This just proves that the Liberals cannot be trusted. It was a vote to maintain hammering Canadians with carbon taxes, carbon capture, net zero, and climate alarmism. All of these things cost Canada money, and it puts a chilling effect on investment in Canada and Alberta. It was brought up over and over and over again as they brought in the cheap climate cultist of the Liberal Party, Julie DeBruzen, many times today in Question Period. Poilievre's line, by the way, and he said this, quote, no matter how high they raise the carbon taxes, they're not going to change the weather, unquote, should be used over and over and over again. He said that in the House of Commons today. This Liberal vote was also a stunt to manipulate their bought and paid for media, to spin their narrative. Watch as CBC and other Liberal media downplay the importance and seriousness of this issue. Poilievre will be portrayed as someone with cheap tricks, someone in it for himself. The Liberals portrayed themselves as serious, as a party working with all Canadians because they believe in Canada. They believe in Canada strong. They brought it up over and over and over again. This is their mantra. It plays well with the elbows up folks. The vote also proved the Liberals stick together, meaning they would rather protect their leader, their party, and disgruntled climate cultists than do what is right for the country and my province of Alberta. Now, the NDP do what the NDP do. They voted against the Conservative motion. They have kindred spirits in the Liberal Party who want to keep all oil and gas in the ground. Poilievre read out the names of 11 Liberals who are bothered by the Memorandum of Understanding. The NDP should work hard to bring those people to their side. If they could bring over 11 seats to the NDP, it would give the NDP 18, and the Conservatives would slip right up the middle and win the next election. Now back to Danielle Smith. her name, or at least Premier of Alberta, was said many times during question period today. It makes me sick that Danielle Smith is being used as a tool to push the Liberal agenda in Ottawa. She was brought up over and over again today. And there is a saying. I love Danielle Smith. I love her. She's fantastic. Best premier in the country. Never wrestle with a pig. You get dirty. And besides, the pig likes it. Now, some more questions here. Would you invest in this country? With this type of government when it comes to oil and gas? Not a chance. And Carney's depending on that. Again, how can you stand watching this nonsense every day? And here's the thing. The vital thing I want to mention here today, I wrote this down. If you're a Liberal MP or support this government, how do you live with yourself? Spewing the nonsense that you say in the House of Commons in question period. And if you vote for this, how can you stand the spewing of this nonsense in question period day after day after day? Am I surprised by this vote? Not at all. But it just sickens me how broken Canada is. As I mentioned in a video earlier today, pipelines are either being built or are in the planning phases all around the world. And little old Canada can't get one pipeline built. Not even one. How disgraceful is that? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you appreciated this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and I will see you in the next one.